Welcome everyone to NSTV. We thank you so much for the viewership. We appreciate actually for your views. Every day we are growing. Now there's a lot of misinformation which circulates, especially on the internet. Because in the modern day technology, internet has been on top, and since it has been on top, there is a lot of misinformation that circulates. And how we identify it, where we identify it, we are yet to know. Today in the studio we have Mr. Edgar Karuhanga, and he's from the Debunk Media Innitiative, an organization that fact checks misinformation.
Yes, my name is Edgar Karuhanga. I am a fact checker, a journalist by profession, and I work with the organization that she's mentioned, Debunk Media Initiative. We are fact checkers. So at this particular organization, I am a fact checker, as I've told you, but I'm also the head of training. I help in training other people how to verify and fact check information. And lastly, I'm privileged to be one of the co-founders of the same organization.
Okay, Mr. Edgar, we find that there is a lot of misguidance on social media, especially, I'll quote social media, because it's where we find most of the information which is misrepresented out there. As a fact checker, how do you help one identify which kind of information is false?
Okay. So there are a lot of false information, or there is a lot of false information. So in false information, we classify it, as you have been mentioning, that there is misinformation, there is disinformation. So there is information, misinformation is information that is wrong or inaccurate, but shared without any intention. So someone does not know that what they are sharing is actually wrong. But then disinformation is the total opposite. Disinformation is when someone deliberately publishes information that is false about you with an intention to harm you or to create a bad brand or a bad image for you in society. So you asked me about how to spot this misinformation. So misinformation can manifest in various ways. There are images that are used out of context. There are images that have been edited and doctored and manipulated to deceive. So it's always through what they call research, being able to be critical, what they call a critical analyst. You look at an image and then maybe say, okay, I think this image may be wrong. Maybe you look at a statement, you say, maybe this statement can be exaggerated. So it starts from you being curious, asking yourself, but is this true? Oftentimes you realize that we are gullible consumers of information. Whatever comes, you just accept it. So it starts, the first step is having that cognitive ability to say, is this true or it is not? So when you realize that maybe it may not be true, or maybe it's true, so you want to confirm. So when you want to confirm, that's when you use what we call the fact-checking tools. So these fact-checking tools are too much and too many. Because of time, I won't mention them. But what they do is that they show you the original source of the information. Where was the information first published? Who published this information? Is this what they said, or were they put out of context? Because normally, this information, you find it on secondary sources. So you find it, for example, Naguja published it, but Naguja got it from another person. So these tools will help you. First of all, that's the first step in the fact-checking process. Go back to the original source. When you go back to the original source, that's when you start defining the evidence, understanding the words that were used, what tense was used, what image was attached. So when you study and start doing that particular research, you get results. So when you get that information, that's where you say, okay, because of the information I have now, I think this is inaccurate. So because it's inaccurate, let me look for the evidence. So you start looking for the evidence. That's when you call experts. That's when you look at data sources, data sets, and say which data can back up my fact check or the information that I'm publishing. So at the end of the day, you have realized, oh, this is accurate, this is not accurate, this is misleading, this is manipulated. So there are various verdicts that we give. So at the end of the day, what we want is clarity. Show people that this was false, these are the steps I followed, and this is the right information. I contacted this person, I contacted this organization to back up my claim. So in just a nutshell, that is what I can say fact-checking is and the process looks like.
Okay, Mr. Edgar, there are not so many organizations which do fact-checking.
Yes.
And you're one of a kind in Uganda.
Yes.
And maybe another that I know, which is called Check.
Yes.
I think you know it.
Yeah, the biggest on the continent.
Why do you think it's important to do fact-checking?
Wow. Fact-checking is very important because of many reasons, really. False information has the ability to harm, right? When someone reads out something, for example, when they have a condition like cancer, and someone publishes an article saying, you can use this particular means to treat cancer, right? Many of them may use those means sometimes those means are not true. So it may end up harming them and them losing their life. So we verify information first of all to make sure that people make informed decisions. That's just one example. But that you can find that in the political space. You can find that literally in all spheres. So first of all, to help people make informed decisions. When someone has the right information, they can make an informed decision because they already know what they're talking about, right? So it helps them make informed decision making. But it also protects human lives. Factual information protects human life. Someone will know the right medication to use, the right food to eat, what that food affects them in the body, how it affects them, what it does. So they already know the accurate information. But also, fact-checking is a new kind of journalism. What do I mean? In the past, we did not have people who would verify information, right? So it was at the helm of the journalists and the media house. But we realized that these days, because of the rise of social media, even the journalists themselves end up spreading false information. So when you're a fact checker, you have branded yourself away from the entire pool. So at the end of the day, you can get money from fact checking information, like Debunk, we paper fact check. You can be able to have something purpose, because at the end of the day, you're doing journalism to help someone, right? We're not just doing it to get money. Yes, the money is also part of the game, but we're doing it to help someone, and someone should make an informed decision, and someone should be saved because of an article you wrote. So the fact check that you will do can save someone's life, and it gives you purpose as an individual, it gives you money as a fact checker or journalist, but also you're now creating legacy. They'll remember you as someone who did stories that created change in the community. That's just a snippet, but there are very many things factual information can do. It can help you hold leaders accountable with facts, because politicians lie. So when you have the right information, you can say, hey, Mr. So-and-so, MP so-and-so, President so-and-so, what you said was wrong, and this is the right information. You're lying to people, and people can understand. So it's just really to help make the world a better place.
Okay. With one or two examples here in Uganda,
yes.
Could you please cite out an example of a misinformed article that maybe our viewers can relate to really understand what we are talking about?
Yeah, there are various. You can check our website at debunkmediainitiative.org. They are there. You can check our social media platforms, The Debunk Show. You'll find all those. But I'm going to give you a few examples. For example, we fact-checked in 2022, Uganda being a middle-income country. The president said that Uganda was a middle-income country at the time. That means each Ugandan was getting $1,036 per month. That's around 4 million. I think you're getting 4 million. So I had to debunk the president because this was not the right information. We have fact-checked images. For example, there's an image that was circulating on social media saying that this is Noop General Hospital, Savala. It had a red hospital. They'll see it on the screen. So that particular image was showing a hospital that it was by Noop, Bobby Wine. But this image was actually doctored. It was a hospital called Haydom Hospital from Tanzania. So it was used out of context. There are many videos, AI videos that were created. For example, there's a video of Cristiano Ronaldo saying that I'm better than Messi, what. But it was created by AI. We have fact-checked it there. There are many that we have done. Maybe
there's an example that I saw Messi having a no.
Yeah, so there are many really. Yeah, Messi had a no beret and holding the World Cup and his best player award. So when you look at all those, they are really false information.
Those are some of the examples that Edgar cited out so that you can really understand.
Yeah.
Because this is something that is new in our country.
Exactly.
Not especially for journalists. Not all of us take an initiative to fact check.
Exactly.
Whenever we see blogs, especially online publication, we just do things the way we feel like and then publish.
Exactly.
So this is something new that we should emulate as journalists. Yes, lastly.
Yes.
Could you give us key issues that we should look at in fact checking?
Yes, there are many issues that you should look at in fact checking, but in fact checking there are some that have a lot of merit and some that don't have merit. What do I mean here? There are fact checks that you will do that really don't create impact, but there are those that create impact. For example, if you find information that is about someone's health, please fact check that. If it's a healing remedy, a certain kind of drug that has been introduced on the market, fact check that. Political statements. politicians hold a lot of power in this country, and they speak as much as they want.
Okay.
Be sure to listen
For
to
their
those. Yes, of
selfish
course, for their own gains. Let's not call them selfish,
Okay, for
but
their
their
gains.
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fact check their statements. Listen to what they say on radio. Listen to a State of the Nation address by the president. There are many things that could be inaccurate.
Are
Then
you
lastly,
sure?
yes, because they are
The
still
president giving out
politicians.
false information.
I've given you an example of a fact check I've done.
All right.
Yeah. So all these, but also there is another growing trend, TikToks.
Okay.
TikTok videos. TikTok videos have a lot of conspiracy theories. Oftentimes conspiracy theories do not have evidence to back them out. But in this time round, if that conspiracy theory they are publishing has evidence somewhere, go look for it, because a lot of false information goes unchecked on TikTok. Then lastly, images. Images, but also not away from images. There are these e-cash giveaways. You have 500 MBs, please share to 10 groups, and
There's
you
even one that
retrieve.
was trending about the president giving out 250.
Exactly.
You remember that?
Those things. So we fact check them. We fact check them. We even have fact checks about them. E-cash giveaways, my MTN is giving this money. So all these things are fertile grounds for false information. But also lastly, there are societal stereotypes, things that have been believed to be true by society and yet they are not true.
Okay.
Those myths, if you have time, if you can look for experts and evidence, go back and debunk them. As long as anything has evidence to it, that you can look for evidence somewhere and get it, go look for it, because as fact checkers and the fact checker watching me, you need to have evidence. And the last thing is, research is the backbone of fact checking. So if you're not a researcher, you're in the wrong trade. Thank you.
Okay, just lastly, do you think every journalist should do fact checking?
100%. In fact, for me, I don't just call it journalists, every person.
Every person.
So that's why we are hoping that if we can get some development partners, we should be able to train communities. We should be able to train rural journalists. We should be able to train students, because this problem is not only affecting us, journalists. No, we are the main stakeholders, but we have societies that need to listen to what we are saying. There are communities that need to listen to us, because credibility comes from accuracy. And you cannot be, credible when you're not accurate in what you publish. So it's not about journalists alone, like you and me. Yes, you have been in the training, but we want more and more people on board. Yeah.
Okay, as you've heard from Mr. Edgar, actually this goes to us, mostly journalists. I would point out journalists because we are the information givers out there. So many people look up to us to get information. We get so many calls and texts for referral. So it is important for all of us to verify the information that we get out there, to know whom we are getting information from, and always to practice fact checking.
Exactly.
It's been wonderful having you
It's been
at
an honor.
NSTV.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Finally, I'm here. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe and share and comment on our channel. When you help us grow, we also help you grow out there.
Okay.
This goes to Debunk Media Initiative for giving us the opportunity to share our views and business.
Okay.
I remain Naguja Serena, your